Good morning everyone. Today I am going to present an oral presentation on procalcitonin guided antibiotic therapy in community acquired pneumonia. The introduction: community acquired pneumonia. It is a most common cause of hospitalization and the related mortality and morbidity associated with it is among the highest. There is a significant overlap between the bacterial and the non-bacterial causes. Antibiotic therapy, I would like to emphasize on one point that more than 85% of the people are being given excessive antibiotics which are not even required. So I would like to discuss in this oral presentation about optimal duration, as the optimal duration has implication in not only reducing the antibiotic resistance, it would also have significant impact over the financial conditions of the patient. For this, we use biomarkers in the biomarkers for the antibiotic therapy. CRP is one of the unspecific biomarker which is elevated in both bacterial as well as non-bacterial causes. Procalcitonin is secreted by the parafollicular cells of thyroid and the neuroendocrine cells of lung and intestine. It is secreted in response to a pro-inflammatory stimulus, and the normal value is less than 0.1 microgram per liter. It has an additional benefit in terms of prognostication and alternative diagnostic clue which is given to a physician in case the value is lower, so a physician might think towards another cause. And the latest rule has been discussed in the surviving sepsis guideline, where serial measurements of procalcitonin has been used to guide the duration of the antibiotic. The aim of my study was to use procalcitonin as a guide of duration of antibiotic therapy, whereas the secondary aim was to correlate procalcitonin with the Curve 65 score, clinical response, complications of community acquired pneumonia, rate of recurrence and readmission. It was a single-centered, hospital-based, randomized, stratified, placebo-controlled, intervention-based and single-minded study which was conducted by the Department of General Medicine in collaboration with Department of Biochemistry in GMCH Sector 32, Chandigarh. The inclusion criteria, it included patients above 18 years of age who were diagnosed as community-acquired pneumonia and gave consent for the study, whereas the exclusion criteria include the immunocompromised individual, patients having in conditions which can falsely elevate procalcitonin, active pulmonary tuberculosis and patients with complicated pneumonia. Minimum of 40 cases were selected, about which 20 were in the control group and 20 were in intervention group. Procalcitonin level were done in both the groups at day 0, 3 and day 5, where the treating physician was blinded about the procalcitonin values in the control group, and procalcitonin values less than 0.2 microgram per liter was an indirect indication where the antibiotic therapy was stopped. The power was assumed to be 90% and level of significance 5%. The qualitative outcome was measured during the mean and standard deviation. The main outcome, which was the days of the antibiotic therapy, was compared using the Mann-Whitney test, and data analysis was done using the SPS software. These are the outcome. As we can see, the highlighted part, the antibiotics on the day 5, in the intervention group, only the 8 people were being given as the antibiotics, where one was upgraded, where 5 people had already been stopped, which was a significant. The days of antibiotic therapy, the mean days of antibiotic therapy in the intervention group was 6.5 plus 3, and whereas in the control group it was 8.6 plus minus 3, which was significant, and duration of hospital stay was also a significant difference. In these bar charts, we can see the comparison between the antibiotics given to the control as well as the intervention group on day 3. Day 3 in control group, almost 100% people were still receiving antibiotics, whereas in the intervention group 30% people have already stopped antibiotics. By day 5, among that 70% who were receiving antibiotics, 57% were still receiving antibiotics. One who had to be upgraded as per the clinician decision, whereas another 35% also stopped antibiotics. In the third bar chart, we can see compare the mean duration of antibiotics, which is 6.4 and 8.7 among the two groups, and it is significant. To discuss, there was no significant difference among both the groups on the basis of age, gender and comorbidities. There was no correlation of the procalcitonin values with the Curve 65, and there was a significant difference among the two groups on the basis of the days of antibiotic therapy. There was no significant difference in the saturation, heart rate, respiratory rate, temperatures, systolic BP. That means every clinical parameters was not having any significant difference on all the days, and there was no difference among the complication outcome and the readmission rates. The limitation of my study was it was a small sample size. At times, the clinical parameters and the decision of treating physician played a role in terms of upgrading antibiotic and stopping of the antibiotics, and it was conducted during the COVID pandemic, so only RT-PCR negative patients were enrolled. It was a single blinded study and was prone to some bias. With conclusion, I would like to tell that with my study there was a significant impact among the reducing the duration of antibiotics and hospital stay, which do have significant impact in the financial implication and in terms of clinical decision, like it does not it might play in future reducing the antibiotic resistance in the population. And thank you. I would like to thank my guides, Dr. Mehak Trahan and Dr. Preetam Singh, for the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a good study, another marker for inflammation. And like I said, the commonest we are using CRP. I think unfortunately, this in this part of the, or in India otherwise, not in the Western certified culture, the antibiotics are underused and rather overused or rather misused.
Yes, sir.
And we find it very difficult to use procalcitone as a marker for all those patients when we are already underusing or overusing or misusing antibiotics. Probably in those cases, even in general practice, for practical purposes, maybe so right in a sort of a institute or maybe sort of where you are working for the general population, but otherwise you see in practical program, I think it is difficult to do procalcitone to just judge the inflammation in a patient who is taking antibiotics. Suppose after 5 days the procalcitone level doesn't decrease. Do you suggest to change the antibiotic, or you want to continue the antibiotics?
Yes, sir. If the procalcitonin level was not decreasing, the antibiotic was being continued in the intervention group, and the upgradation of antibiotic was the decision was taken by the physician in terms of the clinical condition of the patient, whether the respiratory distress was worsening, oxygen requirement was worsening, persistent high grade fever, the worsening of lab parameters. All these came into the play when the upgradation of antibiotics were required. Whereas in the control group, the physician was blinded about the procalcitonin values, so it was just a clinical decision whether to stop antibiotics if the patient is afebrile, if the counts have decreased, if the patient oxygen requirement has decreased. So to stop or upgrade antibiotic in control group, it was a clinicians and the physical condition of the patient that guided us to give the antibiotic therapy. Whereas in the intervention group, it was entirely based on the procalcitonin. At times, the patient might have been on the oxygen. We were still decreasing the oxygen, but since the procalcitonin value started decreasing, so that it was a point where the antibiotic was stopped at 0.2. It was the cutoff.
What is the cost of this procalcitonin to the patient? And your study advocate doing procalcitonin one at the beginning and then at what time?
Sir, in our institute, for the study purpose, the procalcitonin for all the patients, it was done free. But otherwise, if we get a regular procalcitonin done for a normal patient in GMCS 32, it does not cost more than 100 rupees for that patient. Also, in this study, we did procalcitonin values at day 0, which was before the start of antibiotics, at day 3 and at day 5. And also, we every 1 to 3 months we had seminars regarding the procalcitonin, in which we discussed about whether if there are any new guidelines or there are any other new implications, if the method has been changed from the biochemistry, that the cutoff values are being revised or not.
What is the WHO criteria for diagnosis of community-acquired pneumonia?
So, for the community-acquired pneumonia, we have used this criteria as new onset infiltrates in the chest radiograph plus one of the following, in which there are 3 parameters. One is the cough, shortness of breath, and associated with expectoration. Another is fever, which is core body temperature more than 38 degrees Celsius, along with the abnormal clinical findings like bronchial breath sound. And the third was the leukocyte count less than 4 or more than 10,000 per millimeter cube.
Excellent. I must appreciate your knowledge about because that is worthwhile of studying if you know the WHO criteria. And by prescribing procalcitonin, you are adding to the criteria which is not advocating procalcitonin levels.
Yes.
Right? And why it should be not required in Indian setup?
So, as far as this study is concerned, this is less studied in Asian population and much more studied in the Western countries like ProReal, ProHosp. Such trials are already been there. In Indian scenarios, like one of the difficulty which I would like to mention in our hospital, at times like this was a part of studies when we used to get the result within a day. First of all, at times it is costly. One thing, when we send procalcitonin, by the time the value of procalcitonin is available in our government setup, the clinical condition of the patient might have already been changed. So that is a difficulty, and one I would like to mention that in Indian Asian population we might face because of lack of resources.
So that you should mention in this study.
Sir, but for the study we got it on the same day.
No.
Yes,
You must write limitations or in Indian setup because there are two things. One is academic part. Other is that academic part should be reflecting in the social as well as clinical utility by the patients.
Yes, sir.
So India is a low income, middle to low income group country, and most of the patients who are going to you are from the deprived section of the society, poor patients. So calcitonin maybe it is free or less costly in your, but your study is going to reflect to formulate the guidelines or to motivate other consultants to use procalcitonin level for rational use of antibiotics.
Yes.
But rational use of antibiotics should not depend upon procalcitonin levels. It should depend upon your intelligence and the guidelines.
Yes, sir.
If they mention that community-acquired pneumonia should be treated with level 1 antibiotics, then you should escalate to level 2 and then you should escalate to level 3. So I have seen patients, straightway consultants are going in imipenem or tazobactam and not using the ampicillin or gentamicin or depending upon the the culture sensitivity or the antibiotic level of that institute. Right?
Yes, sir.
So you should differentiate between an academic study and the study which is going to have implications on clinical and the patient outcome.
Yes, sir.
And one slide you add, this study will become a worthwhile study as an academic study.
Yes, sir.
Right? So good study. So last 3 studies are real good studies, and I should encourage students to go in for such studies rather than studying the already established facts.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.